Blog Show. Blog Show.
Welcome to the Blog Show, back after a 2-week hiatus to give you the best in American sports blogging. I am the Stars, Jamie Mottram, and this is the Bars, Dan Steinberg.
A self-imposed hiatus, I might say. We weren't canceled or anything. I hope no one was worried at home.
I didn't want to go anywhere.
Yeah. And anyhow, we're going to take you through the past maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks of sports blogging because we've been gone for so long. And I would like to point out before we get started that, well, of course, every time we mention a blog, we're going to give a little ring of the bell. But I was actually out at a real live sporting event today. It was Tiger Woods' golf tournament here in the suburban Maryland area. And I kind of got a lot of sun, so there's maybe like a 30% chance I'm going to suffer a Kobayashi-like reversal over the next 10 minutes. So just be prepared.
Well, that's enough about the AT&T National. This is how we cover golf here on Blog Show.
Oh, don't get it!
That's how you lemon a windmer.
And that one was via our friends at wearethepostmen.com.
Yeah, I do love golf. And what was especially interesting to me was what he said, what those guys said after it went in. I've tried listening to it a couple times. It sounds to me like I think that's how you lemon a Windberg. So that's what you should say if you, yeah.
And that did look like a Hefeweizen. I'd like to see Tiger Woods do that. I bet John Daly has before. But we mentioned that we've been on hiatus. We totally missed the NBA draft. So let's pause, rewind to last week. A big thing for us, NBA draft fashion. Obviously, fashionists to my left and certainly in this chair. We'll get to the draft fashions that were worn on the night of the draft in a moment. But let's look at Glenn Big Baby Davis, taken in the second round. This is how he met the press up there in Boston. We caught this via Lion and Oil and the Uni Watch. You see that suit? It's still got the tag on it.
Double ding for that. Interesting. Speaking of great suits, I suppose we should talk about new Washington Wizard draft pick Nick Young, who's rocking the white on top, black on the bottom. And Miss Gossip from NBA's Fan House conducted what we believe is a fictional interview, I think, with P. Diddy.
I don't think she actually knows the Diddy.
Not to ruin it for everyone at home, but Diddy commented on some of the fashions, and I guess he gave a thumbs down to Nick Young. Is that right?
Yeah, the actual Diddy quote was, "I'm not mad at the white jacket. White is hot right now, but if you're going white, do it right. I'm not feeling this. It looks like he's captaining the Love Boat or working at a restaurant or something. Let me get a piece of cheesecake."
Totally wrong.
Totally wrong. Kind of like the Love Boat.
I thought Nick Young looked great, and I actually liked Joe Noah's look too.
Stop pandering. You've got to cover Nick Young for the next 10 years.
And I like Joe Noah's looks too, and I guess Diddy's comment for that one was "Mo money, mo problems." I thought he looked great.
Joe Noah was classic. Now, one draft pick making a statement with his mouth and now with his fashion sense is Spencer Hawes from the University of Washington, drafted by the Kings with the 10th pick overall. LionandOil.blogspot.com noted that Spencer Hawes doesn't believe in global warming. He calls out Al Gore, saying that his movie is one big lie, and it's just the, quote, media's liberal over-exaggeration of just about everything.
Yeah, and he actually said that to blog friend Luke Wynn at SportsIllustrated.com. And I would just say to Spencer, you know, you might want to watch another movie besides Al Gore's movie, and that would be The Day After Tomorrow. And buddy, when Sacramento is floating off into the Pacific, you'll be sorry.
I can't believe you actually watched The Day After Tomorrow.
I haven't seen it.
All right, elsewhere in draft news, obviously Greg Oden went #1, and obviously one of our favorite blogs that's popped up in the last couple months is draftkevindurant.blogspot.com, which is done by a Trailblazers fan. So, you know, he was down in the dumps, depressed. Take a look at him on your screen. You know, head in hands, right. Lots of beer flowing that night, but he's handling it okay.
Abject misery. But actually, he also wrote that, you know, he's kind of watching black and white DVDs of World War II to console himself, and he decided that the Berliners suffering through the air raids had it worse than he.
That's what I did to turn the frown upside down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Totally.
All right, elsewhere on draft night, one of our favorite things was the Stephen A. Smith Hecklers. I think it's like the Gentleman's Society of Stephen A. Smith Hecklers. They debuted at last year's draft with the heckling video of them yelling at Stephen A. Smith while he ate cheese doodles on the ESPN set between breaks. Sounds mundane, but it was hilarious. Well, they were back at the draft this year, this time with a friend. Take a look.
I'm Stephen A. Smith, and I'm here at the NBA draft. Quite frankly, it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Some people say you're the best forward since Slava Medvedenko. What do you have to say about that? I'm Stephen A. Smith. Everything I say is important. Come on, Al Horford. Come on. Because he's been such a man of the people, and because his hair is so long, I hereby dub thee, Joakim Noah, the people's princess. Joakim Noah, I'm Stephen A. Smith. Do you want to talk to me? Can you sign me? You can do it. Oh, don't do that to Stephen A.
I love that they called Joe Noah the people's princess, and that popped up for the first time on Deadspin.com.
Which I would actually argue with a little bit, because I was there at the draft, and I was writing about it that night. along with this guy Ben Collins, a young whippersnapper from Slam magazine who had some great stuff. And I think Ben thought that I was actually negative about the guy. I just thought it was a little bit rude. If I was a security guard, I would have booted him, but it was kind of funny.
Well, since you're going to be petulant, DC Sports Blog had it as well. Good job, Steins.
Thank you.
Another one of our friends is the Hype Guy from thehypeguy.com. Last item on the NBA is that he played with some children's book covers and made kind of NBA-ized them.
Yeah.
Take a look at some of them on your screen here. First is locate the country that the NBA steals talent from. Actually, this week on the day of our Independence Day, we stole Spain's best guard, Juan Carlos Navarro, Washington Wizards. Bravo.
Yeah, and I also liked Ellis somehow runs into Darius Miles, which was interesting.
Got a problem with it. Why do you got to pick on Darius Miles for puffing? I mean, Charles Oakley said 80% of the NBA smokes weed.
Well,
and Darius Miles is the guy that gets picked out.
I'm going to read my daughter to sleep with that one anyhow.
All right, well, speaking of things that one would do for their children, let's take a look at this Minnesota Twins ad starring Torrey Hunter.
Yeah.
And that one was on Fan House. And, I'd like to bring Torrey Hunter to D.C. this year. He's a free agent, one of the premier guys on the market.
Yeah, and supposedly that ad is causing some copycat ads to spring up from other Major League franchises. I guess the Devil Rays have an ad where the pinata is swinging around, and then Elijah Dukes 9mm right through the.
You dead, dog.
Right through the eyes. Yeah.
That was a good one. I think you connected, Steins.
Thank you.
All right. Speaking of kids, we all know that they love the mascot races, right? In Milwaukee, here in D.C. with the presidents. Well, our friends at Home Run Derby are suggesting that maybe Milwaukee's sausage races have jumped the shark a little bit because everybody is copycatting them. You've got the racing pierogies in Pittsburgh, the aforementioned presidents races here in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Blue Jays have started something called the Mexican Chili Peppers race in Toronto.
Some kind of promotion for burritos, I believe.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Seriously, it is. And so I guess the point is there's suggestions for what else could race at various ballparks around the league. For example, the Yankees racing taxi cabs, which isn't terrible.
That's kind of lame. I like this one. The Cincinnati Reds racing Bengals felons.
Yeah.
Right there in Cincinnati. That play well with the sports fans.
That's right.
But not everyone can be entertained by mascots. Not everybody can be entertained by sports, period. There is one fan who was caught on a jumbotron in a ballpark in kind of an awkward, embarrassing situation. Have a look. And that tremendous video that made the rounds like wildfire was from Simon on Sports.
Yeah, and if I can give myself some credit again, you don't mind, do you?
Oh, please do.
I was at a Georgetown basketball game last year, and I took a picture of a student who seemed to be passed out from overexcitement.
I did see that.
Yeah, and I actually had to take the photo down because he had some sort of inappropriate image drawn on his face.
Really? Was
Yeah.
it phallic symbology?
I can't talk about that.
All right, well, moving on, still in the world of baseball, though, our friends at Bugs and Cranks found some entertaining autographed baseballs, and this stems from a report that Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher Doc Ellis, he pitched a no-hitter on LSD,
Right.
1970. Well, he's been signing baseballs saying, I threw a no-hitter on acid,
Right.
Doc Ellis.
Right. And so I guess the idea is that there's these other baseball stars have been signing
I
baseballs.
suppose so.
Yeah. For example, the best one, obviously, was A-Rod, who signed his baseball. I like the she-male muscular type.
In reference to the stripper story from
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Also, Ricky Anderson has a ball. He signs it. Ricky can still play.
Yeah.
And then also Roger Clemens. I went to the team with the best chance of winning. Yours truly, the Rocket.
Those balls are valuable.
All right. Well, last time we showed Wiffle Ball here on the show, it was a Wiffle Ball drinking game, which is something we can get behind. It's fun for the whole family, especially in tailgates outside of ball yards across this country. But here's a Wiffle Ball game that's not so safe. It's Flaming Wiffle Ball. And this comes from our friends at You've Been Blinded.
Yeah, we're friends with everyone, aren't we?
Well, they're all bloggers. There are people, Steins.
Let me watch this.
No, we don't have sound on this one.
Oh, we're just watching
because it's popular music that we're not, the licensing fees.
Oh, amazing, amazing. The thing that I wonder is how do they light the ball on fire, Do they douse it in kerosene first?
That is quite a conundrum.
Yeah.
And my brother Chris and I, also a blogger, SaveByTheBlog.com, we used to play this in our backyard, but now with flaming baseballs, actually with lightning bugs. When you hit them with the wiffle ball bat, they light up and travel at least 10 feet.
Awesome.
It's majestic.
That's cool. The kids in my neighborhood were sending fireworks onto my porch over the last couple
Obviously
days.
run out of blog fodder, even though we had 3 weeks to work with. But we do have the cheese of the week, Dan.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. Let me
Cheddar.
It's some kind of cheddar. It's a cheddar that's actually made by Windsong Farm. It's the Great Bear cheddar. It's made with beer.
That sounds
maybe
good.
with a Great Bear beer. You know, it's like July 4th week.
Our golfers from the top of the show would enjoy that quite a bit.
Sure.
You see, we reference material from earlier. It's professional here. If you want to add to the blog show, feel free to email our intern, the Prada-master from bulletsforever.com at blogshow@comcastsportsnet.com. We'll be back on next week. Hopefully there's no more 2-week hiatuses in our future. Steins don't go anywhere, and you don't go anywhere. Stick around for the YouTube clip of the week in honor of the 4th of July. Our good friends at everydayshouldbesaturday.com have this interesting rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Blog show wardrobe provided by Redskins.com and FreeDarko.com.